Hi, I'm Skinny Cheeks. In this video, I'll cover all the major changes coming to Update 48. It will go live for PC and Mac on October 27th and console on November 12th. This update is a lot lighter than what we've come to expect, as there aren't really any quality of life changes and almost no combat balance adjustments, but there are still a few important things to know to get you all caught up. First off, Phase 2 and 3 of the Writhing Wall event should be happening early into the update. I imagine if Phase 2 is like Phase 1, it will last another 2 weeks or so after the update goes live for PC. This would probably put Phase 3 right in time for the console launch. I imagine this is probably intended so that all of the platforms will end up accessing Eastern Solstice at roughly the same time. Usually PC servers are 2 weeks ahead of consoles with updates, and they technically still are, but it looks like we'll probably all see the new content within days of each other instead of weeks. So once we get through Phase 3 of the event and we have Eastern Solstice, we'll have a number of new things to look forward to. There are 34 achievements available with 3 new titles and a new die. The Scythe Knight outfit style is acquired by completing various achievements throughout Solstice. The For My Alliance emote is acquired by combining 50 Arena Gladiator proofs available by completing Conquest missions in Cyrodiil. The Meridian Blessed Bread memento is acquired by completing the Golden Knight in Solstice. The Cold Harbor Death Hound is acquired by completing the Savior of Solstice achievement. The Slothserer pet is available by completing the quest The Final Dark in Solstice. And there are some other adornments coming along with the new skill style for Soul Trap. I think this one actually looks pretty cool. And then we have 2 new Crown Store homes coming and a bunch of new furnishings with a variety of different sources. Next up, there will also be some changes for a few of the base game features. Going forward, leaderboards are now account-based, except Cyrodiil boards for now. This means you have only 1 entry per leaderboard, and it will be the highest score for the associated activity. Class-specific leaderboards have also been removed. They said they are taking a look at leaderboards to better streamline the experience overall. The goal is to make leaderboards make a little more sense in a post-subclassing world and to have a more unified and fair experience for players. Leaderboards have also been updated to a cap of 500 players. I think overall these are good changes. Hopefully it opens the door to a better and more rewarding leaderboard system for the future. I can think of a lot of cool account rewards, even temporary cosmetics that could be associated with leaderboards, and this would be a lot more of a fair way to do it with the new system. Just a possible example, they could have it so that if you are on the leaderboards for Maw of Lorcage, you could have a cool blue glow around your character or a set of blue glowing wings or something along those lines, something to stand out and show that, hey, I'm currently on the leaderboards for that activity. As of now, the leaderboards are in a really rough place for trials and arenas. The weekly rewards are no good, and then the patch leaderboards actually give you 0 rewards. So this is something that's been an issue for a while. I hope the new leadership will take the time to take a look at it. Another change coming, this won't be at the start of the update, but will be taking place later this year. 8 brand new daily quests are being introduced for the New Life Festival. I know a lot of people have felt like this event has gotten a bit stale, so it's nice to see some new variety added here. Also pertaining to events, they have a morphing collectible note. Assembling morphing collectibles from the 2026 offerings will no longer consume or require the pet. This is by design and intended behavior. You no longer need to reassemble the bat pet to make other offerings. All these collectibles stand alone. Also note that the Roseblood bat pet fragments cost 10 tickets each as opposed to the previous 5 for the consumed base items. The bat will not disappear upon assembling its morphs. As noted, we are currently deciding on how to handle the older collectibles in this regard so as to not leave you with dead fragments. I think this is another great change. I thought the morphing aspect made sense with the Indrix when those originally came out, but beyond that, it was just kind of confusing and made the players take extra unnecessary steps. So the pet will cost 30 tickets now instead of 15, but in the long run, this will actually be way less tickets that you'll spend since you'll only need to make it once instead of 5 times if you wanted all of the yearly event rewards and you wanted to keep the pet as well. I think this is definitely the right move going forward with these. All right, now let's get into the combat changes. The lack of meaningful improvements to many of the skill lines that are underperforming for subclassing is really disappointing. I know I'm not alone in feeling that. Subclassing hit the PTS in April, and we have still yet to see any proper adjustments to it. Since there isn't anything here in Q4, it's looking like we'll be waiting almost a year at minimum for this. And honestly, this is just an unacceptable time frame for these sorts of issues to be resolved, but sadly one that the players have come to expect at this point. I put together a short list of some of the biggest pain points in my opinion, both for skill lines as a whole, as well as skills stuck behind lines that we won't use anymore when trying to build in a way that is optimal for your team. Even if temporary band-aid solutions need to be used while they figure out a better long-term plan, it would still be better than the current situation that we're left with. Playing a class with its original 3 lines should be a hell of a lot more competitive than it currently is. I recently saw an interview with Path of Exile game director Mark Roberts, and I thought some of the stuff he said was absolutely spot on. I'll throw together a few clips here. Y'all have a listen to their approach on the key points to healthy growth for a live service game and the importance of listening to your players.
I mean, obviously you need a relatively good game and concept to start with, but I think if you can just strive to do that level of patching and constantly making the game better and better and better and better and doing more and doing better and innovating by a passionate team who actually care about the game, then I feel like in almost all cases you're going to grow a player base. And that is one thing to know, like PvE1 grew, right? It doesn't just, like it's high, it goes low, and then it grows and grows and grows and grows and grows. And you get your ebbs and flows, and you get your plateaus for a bit, and then when you plateau, you're like, hold on, we need to do more, we need to do better, let's get more people back in here, let's get people excited about it again. What do we need to do better? So don't let it get stale, don't flatline, just keep innovating, keep designing, keep doing better, and make sure that people, your staff, the team working on it, feel passionate, not only about working on it, but also about playing it. We've been through a lot. Like we've messed up a lot of things. Just make it better. It's fine. You can always do it. It's not that bad. It's completely fine. And just don't, as long as you never have that approach of being like, the players are wrong. It's absurd, and I have absolutely no idea why people do that. So it's kind of easy, but I understand when it gets emotional and the players are angry, especially about something you did, it can be hard. It can be quite difficult when you are passionate in game development, but just honestly, it's fine. You're making the game for them. You want them to be happy. You want them to enjoy the game. Make the game for them. Do it, right? Like, that's your audience.
And with the success that Path of Exile continues to have over 12 years in, I think ZOS could definitely take some notes on the way that they're handling things. I also wanted to mention, with help from the community, I put together a giant document of feedback over the class skill lines. This is a lot more than is necessary to get things over the hump, but I think there are lots of good long-term solutions to work towards here. I'll link it down below if anyone wants to have a look at these ideas. But specific to Update 48, we do have a couple of changes coming. For the Necromancer, they've updated all Necromantic summon abilities to now properly interact with the pet limitation rules. These abilities should now actively flush out existing summons and corpses, granted the summons and corpses are sourced by replaceable creatures, rather than outright failing. This has been a big complaint from Necros since they introduced the limit, so hopefully this will finally resolve the issues that players have been having. For the Bone Tyrant line, the Bone Armor skill, this ability in its morphs no longer summon a corpse when they end or their abilities are refreshed after 10 seconds. Instead, these abilities now grant you Living Corpse if cast while in combat, which allows you to cast a singular corpse-consuming ability on yourself. And this effect is applied instantly, but has a 10-second cooldown. I think this is a pretty cool change. I liked the concept of using yourself as a corpse that was introduced with their class set from Infinite Archive, but I didn't really like the idea of using that set. I wouldn't mind seeing this introduced in other ways too, but I think it's a very good fit for Bone Armor. Another change that's pretty nice for general combat quality of life, potions, food, and drink effects can now be consumed while casting or channeling abilities. This will be especially nice when using the Fate Carver beam, as sometimes your potion is available immediately after you start beaming and you have to wait to use it, so now you can use it as soon as it's ready. There was also a minor change to Whirlwind. This ability and the Steel Tornado morph now deal up to 33% bonus damage to targets under 50% health. So the Whirling Blades morph is unchanged. That's the one with the 100% bonus damage. That still has that full execute damage. It's just a smaller execute that's being added to the base skill and the Steel Tornado morph here. Not sure about the PvP side of things, but I don't really see this having an impact on PvE. Next up, with the Frostbite set, fixed an issue where this set's bonus against chilled enemies did not function. So now this set will finally get its full proper damage bonuses. This has been a long time bug, and I'm happy to see it's finally fixed. This is one of the few sets in the game that is based on a specific theme that is actually decent to use when going for that theme. If you want to build with a ton of frost damage, like over half of your damage is frost, this might actually be one to look into now that this bug is fixed. We also have a few new sets being introduced. Zanmir Genesis is an overland set, pretty bad 2 to 4 piece bonuses, and then it gives health, magicka, and stamina recovery to your group when an enemy dies. Don't see this one making its way into any PvE setups. Fellowship's Fortitude is a craftable set. This one's pretty much built out the same way that Shattered Fate is, except this is defensive stats instead of offensive. Definitely not worth it for a veteran as a 12-piece set as a whole, but could be okay for a new player trying to tank that doesn't have any gear for tanking yet. The 5-piece bonus could be okay if you're trying to stack some armor, but I definitely don't see this one being super relevant for PvE. Next up, we have Shared Burden, another craftable set. When you enter combat, 6% of the damage you take is transferred to your companion instead. Reduce the damage your companion takes by 16%. When your companion dies in combat, they will automatically revive themselves after 12 seconds. So this is a fun concept. Unfortunately, it also has the awful 2 to 4-piece bonuses of health, magicka, and stamina on it. Obviously, this won't be any sort of meta set, but I can see some players having fun with it. I do wish it had better 2 to 4-piece bonuses though. And then finally for the gear, we have a new mythic item, Huntsman's War Mask. Dealing damage with a bash or fully charged heavy attack places the mark of Hircine on your target for 1 minute. While active, you gain Minor Berserk, increasing damage done by 5%, and deal 15% more damage to the target and 50% less damage to all other enemies. Sadly, this was initially a 20% damage done buff on the PTS, but it was nerfed down to 15%. It's still a very solid item, and it should be best in slot for some builds on a number of single target fights in the game, but in my opinion, it isn't really an exciting addition anymore. It's just marginally better than what we previously had available for those scenarios. But if you are about min-maxing for all scenarios in the game, this is definitely one you want to pick up. If you prefer a set it and forget it playstyle though, this probably isn't one for you. We've also had some changes to the upcoming Vengeance campaign. There will be a new loadouts and perk system. This was shown off a bit on one of the recent ESO live shows, just a way to customize your character a little bit further in this game mode. And then many systems have been turned back on, including quests, vendors, leaderboards, etc. So more of the normal things you'd be able to interact with and progress will be active during this upcoming Vengeance campaign. Well, that wraps it up. Thank you so much for watching. If these videos are helpful, maybe consider subscribing to the channel. It's free and it really does help a ton. But I'm curious how y'all feel. Are you happy with the update? Do you feel like more is needed? Let me know in the comments below what y'all think about the Update 48 changes. Big shout out to my Patreon and YouTube members. I really appreciate the support. And a special thanks to these folks here. I couldn't keep doing this without you. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.